Hey, welcome to another edition of Veterans Rant, Rattle, and Roll. I'm Sergeant First Class Retired David L. Parker, your insane host. And today we're going to have some fun speaking with Senior Airman Gwyn Mais. Gwyn, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, no worries. This is an exciting day for me because we have several firsts today. The first, we have our first Air Force veteran, which is awesome because the Air Force keeps flying around and ducking me, I guess, when I talk to them. My first current uniform wearer. So, Gwyn, you actually put it on every month, don't you?
Yes, every once a month on the weekend.
Right. So even though you're in the reserves, it still counts. We're all veterans. So these things are exciting because I got in really heavy Army. Maybe it's because I was in the Army. But hey, tell us. How did you end up in the Air Force? You wake up one day and said, I want to be a pilot or what?
No, so when I was younger, I remember, I distinctly remember in seventh grade, I was like, I think I want to be in the military or in doing firefighting or something to that degree, kind of giving back and helping out. And I kind of went with that up until high school. I talked with a Navy recruiter actually. And then shortly, well, I guess it was right around that time that I met my husband. So we are high school sweethearts. And we got to talking and had some serious talks. And he was just in a place where we were starting out. We wanted to get married. We were very young. And so that wasn't conducive to the military lifestyle at that point. So I kind of put that on the back burner. And then oddly enough, shortly after we got married, he decided to go in to the Air Force active duty. So that kind of propelled us forward, and I put his career out front and became a stay-at-home mom of two girls. And
Okay.
then I decided at that point that I wanted to stay at home with them until they went into school. So I stayed at home with them, let him do his military career, active duty. We moved around quite a bit. And then I told him, when the girls go back to school, then I will do my career. And that's when I decided I wanted to actually pick up the military thing again. And he was very supportive of that. So that was awesome. And so I was able to go into the Air Force and become an EMT in the Air Force.
So is he active duty now?
He's in the reserves now. He moved
Okay.
from active duty to the reserves, and that's kind of why I got into the reserves. So
Are you both in the same unit?
I'm working on that. We are not in the same unit currently, which is kind of a little frustrating because we have different drill weekends sometimes since we're in
Sure.
different units. So I'm working on getting into his unit right now. So hopefully I will be.
Do y'all have similar jobs, similar military specialties?
He is actually in IT. He works on servers. And then I am an EMT. So medical and IT, totally different.
Yeah, very different. Both are acronyms because the military can't talk without an acronym. We don't know how to speak languages. And being that you're an active CAT card carrier, we're going to jump past the rant. We're going to jump into the role. Give me a funny story. Come on. Your husband was active duty. You guys have done some stuff. Something's got to be funny.
Yeah, so actually, more recently, I was taking a course for to become an instructor for EMT refresher, and I was reporting into a master sergeant that was someone that I wasn't super familiar with. It was just for the course, and I I texted her, and my phone autocorrected and into Andrea. And then I was like, oh, I'm sorry, like it's and not Andrea. And then as I get throughout the course, someone had civilian wise called her by her first name, which happened to be Andrea.
Okay.
I was like, I looked at her and I was like, oh, Andrea's your first name. I was like, I am so sorry, ma'am. I was not trying to be disrespectful in any way. And she's like, I wondered because nobody calls me by my first name. So
I,
it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that is very entertaining how these little oopses happen in our life. Now, you and I have met, if you will, obviously first time today here in this little get-together, but because you're actively involved with the same things that I'm trying to combat as a million other people trying to combat, and that is to stop veteran suicide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you turned me on to a website that's address is www. StopSoldierSuicide.org, right?
Yes.
And I've got their webpage up right now. It says join the battalion. Tell me, how does a young lady, a young senior air person, end up involved with a amazing organization like StopSoldierSuicide.org?
Well, so I have a little bit of a long story, but I'll try to shorten it.
We have plenty of videotape. We're fine.
So if you go back, when I was 18 years old, I had just moved out of my parents' house, and a very close person in my circle tried to take their life, and they took 71 Tylenol. They did not tell anyone for 3 days and were sick the whole time, and finally decided to come forward with why they were sick. And they were rushed to the emergency room. The doctor said that they had a 50% chance of surviving the night. And so I sat by the phone waiting to see the results of what had happened. And they ended up surviving the night and actually did not have to have a liver transplant, which was amazing because that's a lot of Tylenol.
Yeah.
So it was a very big miracle, but as I was processing what had happened, I was just barely 18, and I was just so taken aback that someone would be in such a dark place that they could not, they didn't feel like any other option except for suicide. And so that kind of propelled me into this kind of line of advocacy and work. I just love to support others in the midst of crisis. So as I processed all that had gone on, I wanted to give back. I wanted to do more. And so I started working with a suicide hotline and volunteering with them. And I volunteered with them for a couple of years. And I loved the work. I loved what I did. And everybody thought I was crazy because every time I talk about it, I was just like, it was such a great experience. And they're like, I would never have guessed that for a suicide hotline. And I was like, but it was awesome to like give back and help these people that are in that place. So it was amazing time. And then kind of moving forward into the present day where I got involved with this charity.
Okay.
I recently had a fellow service member and very good friend of mine take her life. And it just rocked my world again. And I was just like, I want to get back to that place of giving back and helping out and doing what I can. And so I researched charities and tried to find one that kind of aligned with what I know about suicide and giving straight back to veterans that are struggling with that, because I know that is a huge population that is struggling as she did, my friend, and I just wanted to do it in her honor. So next month I will be working with them to raise awareness and funds by running 100 miles for the entire month. So I'm very...
I know, we talked about that. You're going to do it on purpose too.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and you're raising funds for that, right?
Yes, that's what I'm attempting to do. I'm hopeful that I can raise a few $100s for them to help out a few veterans.
Right, if you want to support Gwyn and everything she's doing, you can look it up on Facebook. It's got a really long number connected to it, so I would recommend just search for GWYN, second name MAIS. Look her up and then find her donate page for fundraising for Stop soldier suicide. Veterans Rant, Rattle, and Roll will be first to donate there. And go ahead and click that. Click on this. Click that right there. And okay, for some reason the thing is acting crazy. So you started off 18 years old working on a suicide hotline, which is an incredible thing in the first place. I'm sort of blown away by that. And then you joined the military, and a few years later, here you are, still working to help combat what we all need to make go away, which is terrible. I am not distracted. I am trying to make sure that Veterans Rant, Rattle, and Roll is first to support what you're doing. Are you working a suicide hotline now also, or is that something that you've just done in the past?
I'm not currently. I always wanted to get back to doing that, but as I felt like that chapter kind of closed for me. I ended up going into the Air Force right around the time that I stopped working with them. So I tried to get back to it, but my schedule just did not permit me to volunteer my time at that point, and given the training and everything that I went through with the Air Force. So I have not picked that up yet again, but maybe in the future at some point I will be doing that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How did you discover this website, the StopSoldierSuicide.com?
So I went and purposely researched a good charity to get involved with because I wanted to look at the research, look at the background, what they were doing for the veterans. I know a lot of the charities that I looked up helped with medical bills or that sort of thing. But the thing that stuck out to me as I researched was that Stop Soldier Suicide really walks with the person throughout their journey and really supports them all the way through. And even if it takes several years, they have someone that they can go to within that organization they have built a relationship with, and they can get supported at any point in time. So I love what they're doing, and I loved everything about all of this stuff on their website. I talked with them over the phone and just asked them very specific questions, and I really like their vision and what they are trying to do.
Awesome. That's amazing. Okay, so Veterans is first. If you check out your face page, we're going to help you out. So everybody out there that's listening to this, please support what Gwyn's doing to help support StopSoldierSuicide.org. I'm looking at their website right here. Right on the front page, it says veterans are at 50% higher risk of suicide than their peers who have not served. We all know that, and I'm sorry for your loss of your friend, and I'm always struck by how this stuff keeps getting closer and closer to home. It's happened to me. As a matter of fact, I had family last night at a vigil for somebody who succumbed. 200 people showed up for a candlelight vigil. We just got to figure out how to keep on staying connected, and that's what Veterans Rant, Rattle, Roll is all about, is connecting veterans. So let's jump back to your career. How long have you been in the Air Force now?
Almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years. And the husband, how much time has he done?
He will be 14 in January.
Very cool. And you said you have 2 daughters.
Yes, 2 daughters.
Did you give them cool Air Force names like Falcon and...
No. One of them, my oldest is Trinity. She is turning 13 this week. And my youngest is 9. That's Allison. And I love them to death.
You think they're going to be in the Air Force?
We've talked about that. Being that we're both military, it's a subject that has come up. Their personalities, I don't know that either of them would go in. But if my youngest went in, it would probably be a good thing because she's a little hard-headed. So it wouldn't hurt her any if she did.
Right. I understand. My wife and I adopted our 2 grandboys. And I keep saying that the older one's going to go to the Air Force Academy and the younger one's going to the Army at West Point. Because we're blessed. We're able to sponsor we live right near the United States Air Force Academy, so we actually have a couple of cadets that we sponsor, and one comes over from time to time. Of course, COVID-19 has really made it tough on Anthony to come over and hang out, but when he does, it's all about homework and eat and sleep. So sponsoring a cadet is an interesting adventure.
That's awesome.
Is this the first time you've tried to do this 100-mile run for charity? Is it one of many times? Where are we at with this?
This is my first time doing this. I hope that it's one of many because I love the fact that I can give back in whatever way that I can. And
Sure.
This is a tangible way for me to do that. And I feel good about it. I want to do it in honor of my fallen service member, my friend. And so this time it's going to be pretty emotional for me, but I'm excited to do that.
So what's your plan on how to knock this 100 miles out? You're going to run like 25, 4 days in a row or what?
So I think what I plan on doing, because I would like to take some days off, I need rest days. So I think I'm going to try to do at least 5 miles Monday through Friday and maybe a little more on Saturday. We'll see, but see where we're at with that, because I think that would be 20 a week. So I'd be at like 80, and if I picked up a little bit on Saturdays, then I should be okay. So.
Okay, not to tease you there, Air Force, but 5 days a week times 5 is 25, and a little bit more on a weekend.
Oh, yeah.
would be at 30, so you
I
would
was
hit
thinking
120 at that rate.
Yeah.
Maybe in the Air Force you don't count on all 5 fingers. You only, I don't know. It's all good.
I usually, on my work weeks with coaching, I try to do it Monday through Thursday. So in my head, I was thinking Monday through Thursday.
What are you coaching? Tell us about that.
So I'm a Christian life coach, and I love helping Christian women with their struggles, and just anytime that I can help them to get into that life that they've kind of always wanted. I love what life coaching is. If you haven't ever heard of it, it's different than therapy, because therapy it kind of goes back into your past, and you're going to focus on deep emotional wounds that you may want to take care of.
Yeah.
With life coaching, we focus on the present and creating goals and trying to get to that ideal life that you have always wanted, but you can't quite get there. And it really helps to have a life coach with accountability and trying to, strive towards what you're looking for.
Sure, makes good sense. How long have you been doing that now?
I actually just started that in July. I got certified, and so I have just barely started my business, but I'm excited to kind of move forward and hopefully have a decent following.
And the great thing is everybody has a start date. Mm-hmm. All right, so maybe we'll find some awesome veterans or other people plugging into the YouTube or podcasts, and they'll reach out to you. And I'd like to encourage you, Gwyn, to look up on Facebook a page called Earn Like a Mother and connect with them, because they have Tia Jenkins is the person on there that runs that, and you two sound a lot like each other.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Pretty awesome.
Love connecting
stuff
with others.
So even though you only look like you're 16 years old, obviously you have a lot of things going on. When you said you had a 13-year-old, I was like, look, I look my age. I'm supposed to have grandkids. I don't know about everybody else, but that's awesome. Hey, are your daughters going to run with you?
Probably some, yes. Good. Because my oldest loves to run. She started off in cross country, and then she was like, I like to run, but I don't think I like to run just to run. So
sure, makes good sense.
But she likes to do it just to leisurely run, and so she'll probably join me at some point. They're very excited to help out, and I've talked to them about that. Even my youngest is like, "Oh, I want to do it with you to help the people." So
cool. So let's bounce back into the uniform time. When and where did you go to boot camp, basic training?
I went to boot camp in San Antonio, Texas. And so we actually, it's funny because being that he was active duty before, we actually lived on the base in San Antonio for a while there, and then I went back to it for basic training.
So you were like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, it was a little strange.
Right, and I'm assuming since Fort San Antonio or Fort Houston, what is that called? Fort Sam Houston, right?
Yes.
For the Army. Did you also go there for medical training, or does the Air Force have its own?
So some of the people would go there for medical training, but my tech school, where we learn about our job, was in Ohio at Wright Pat.
Oh, okay. That's very, very interesting. Okay. Very cool. So, I mean, you have lived quite the adventurous life and are quite the server, aren't you? Looking out to take care of people, from being an EMT to running for suicide awareness to supporting, veterans with their challenges.
Yeah, I love giving back in whatever way that I can. I have a kind of a motto of just leaving everything better than you found it. And so I want to leave a relationship or a base or a unit anywhere that I go. I want to try to improve it in some way.
Right. So do you have obviously your message for Stop 22, Prevent 22, End 22 is just stop. But do you have something you could recommend if you're in a bad place? What would you say? What's your message to those folks? Where can they go? What can they do according to Gwyn?
Well, definitely, if you are in that place, check out Stop Soldier Suicide. They have a great program there. They're going to support you all the way through. But if you are in a place where you are really, really struggling, reach out. Like if Stop Soldier Suicide doesn't get it for you, like it just doesn't work for you, find a place that you're comfortable with. Reach out to, there's so many different charities, there's so many different ways that you can get support, but there's people out there that want to support you. And I am definitely one of them. Reach out to me if you have to. Message me. I talk to people all the time. People send me just random people that are struggling, and I will help them out. I will talk to them anytime, any day. So just reach out to someone in your life that you feel comfortable with. Sometimes that might mean a stranger, a complete stranger, because you don't feel comfortable with people around you because of judgment, whatever. So, reach out to the suicide hotline. I used to work with imalive.org. They are a great organization.
What was that one? imalive.org? imalive.org.
I'm Alive. And they're a great organization. I used to work with them. There's the National Suicide Hotline. Just anywhere that you can get support, reach out, and there are people that care. There are people that understand where you're at, and they're going to support you right where you are with no judgment.
Yeah, I just looked that one up. imalive.org. We are all in this together. Hey, listen, fellow veterans, it doesn't matter how long you served. Gwyn will agree with me on this. I don't care if it's 5 seconds. I don't care if it's 50 years. If you wore the boots, then we want to be in cahoots with you. We want you to stay here. There are plenty of things. Like she said, the national hotline, Stop Soldier Suicide, imalive.com. Call Gwyn, call me. You want to call a stranger, you can't call anybody stranger than me. So reach out. We'll chat. We want you to keep on going. It doesn't matter. Come on, veterans, rant, rattle, and roll. Tell us about what's going down. Tell us where you're at. We can help you find somebody that can relate. Hey, listen, I talk all the time. I have an appointment every other week. My doctor is a retired major from the Air Force who was part of the SEER training, and he calls me on my bull crap just as fast as anybody else. And it's really helpful. It's not a sign of weakness. And, Gwyn, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on here. Coming on to a show with a person you've never heard of and you just happen to stumble onto on Facebook to send your message of support is amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome to get the word out in whatever way that I can, because it may be just that one person that's listening in, and it can really make a difference.
That's the home run right there. We're doing this for that one person. Maybe you're that one person. And hey, if you're listening to this on YouTube or you're watching this on podcast, you listen. Maybe that's backwards. Watching it on YouTube, listening on podcast. It's crossing your I's and dotting your T's, because that's just the way it works. Do me a favor. Look up Gwyn. Find her on Facebook. I could read, and I you know what? I'm going to do it just for fun. So she sent me this link. It's https, www.facebook.com/donate. Now here's the long number to get to her. 100749913637717. Looks like backslash again, 1022181838968211 backslash. Holy mackerel! You should go and help support what she's doing just on how long it took me to read all those freaking numbers right there. All right, but when I click on it, it takes me to exactly there. It's Stop Soldier Suicide, as we already talked about, right? Her goal is to hit 350, right? She's got 295 left to do. Get on here. Donate something, support something, help build this community. And Gwyn, again, I can't thank you enough for coming on here, and I'm begging you. This is an order, darn it. Get on here and support Gwyn, GWYNMAIS, Illinois 100 Challenge fundraiser, right? Fundraiser by Stop Suicide. You can do that. I'm going to invite everybody on my friends list to come and do it, which is one of the things that's crazy hard to do. Because, you got to click each person individually. You would think Facebook would be like, invite all. You know what I mean? But I can't tell you how honored I am that you were here. I love what you're doing. Anybody that is trying to help stop soldier, veteran suicide is top quality personnel in my world. According to me, it don't get no better than that. So, again, please, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Veterans Rant, Rattle, and Roll. Please support what Gwyn's doing. Please support these organizations. Get on Facebook. Check out Prevent 22. I enjoy their page very much. They're doing the best they can. Now I'm all over StopSoldierSuicide.org, and I'm alive. Okay, and we can do this together. Gwyn, you got anything else you want to add because you're such a rock star?
Just reach out if you're feeling like you are in that place today where you need some support. There's plenty of us out there that want to support you, and you're not alone. I know the thoughts in your head may tell you that you are completely alone and nobody cares, but there are people here that care, and you're not alone. So thank you so much for having me on your show.
Hey, no worries. Sorry, everybody, about the clicking in the background. That's me clicking everybody on Facebook. So if you're on my Facebook, yes, I'm inviting you to support Gwyn and what she's doing. Again, everybody, thanks for supporting Veterans Rant, Rattle, and Roll. I'm Sergeant First Class, retired because I'm tired twice, signing out. And I'm out!